Hello, callers, and welcome back to Viva Barca. Welcome to another interesting episode where we are going to be discussing on the latest developing stories, starting with Messi, as he has finally confirmed Inter Miami transfer. And in his statement, he finally talks about how things went behind the scenes. He talks about Barca return possibilities, PSG, and the World Cup. We are going to be discussing on that as we progress. Then, secondly, we are going to be talking about Barcelona, who have released a statement with regards to Messi's finalized transfer to Inter Miami. We are also going to be looking at that in much detail. So, guys, as we get right into it, please, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure to do so. Turn on the post bell notification to always stay notified whenever I post a new video. Consider liking the video and please watch it right up to the very end. After Lionel Messi's decision to move to Inter Miami was confirmed by all tier 1 sources, the legendary Argentine has come forth with an interview with Sport and Mundo Deportivo talking about all what went down in the last couple of months. I will not return to Barcelona. I will join Inter Miami, he confirmed, first and foremost. I made the decision to go to Miami. I still haven't closed it 100%, and there are still some things missing out. But well, we decided to continue the journey there. Messi, clearly in favor of a Barcelona return over Miami, confirmed that he did have offers from other European clubs, he said. The truth is that I had offers from other European teams, but I didn't even evaluate it because in Europe my idea was only to go to Barcelona. After winning the World Cup and not being able to go to Barca, I had to go to the American League to experience football in a different way and enjoy the day to day. He continued to talk about the World Cup, saying that the competition in the middle of the season made it very difficult for teams, even though he ended up lifting the trophy with Argentina. He said, in the middle of the season, there was the World Cup, and I think the World Cup affected all the teams in general. It affected the season a little bit with such an important competition in the middle of the first time. Messi was at PSG for 2 seasons. While everyone knows his time at the club did not go particularly well for him in terms of his output. The 35-year-old did not have a great time off the pitch either, with constant controversy surrounding him, he said. The truth is that the first year at PSG was very difficult, as I said on some occasions for different reasons. The second year, the first 6 months, I felt very, very good, very comfortable in the club, in the city, with my family. Did I miss Barca when I was at PSG? Yes, obviously, I did. I was just saying the truth is that the first year was very difficult for me after the departure, how it was and everything. Messi also opened up about his initial time in Paris and how difficult it was for him and his family to settle outside of Barca for the very first time. He said, when I left in 2021, I had to come here in Paris to stay in a hotel for a long time with my family, with my children going to school, and still being in the hotel. I didn't want my future in the air again. I'm also in a moment where I want to get out of the spotlight a bit, to think more about my family, and I was saying just how I spent 2 years with my family in such a bad way that I didn't enjoy it at Paris. In Barcelona, I went to look for my children. In Paris, I did it much less. I shared fewer activities with them. That was also the reason for my decision to reconnect with my family, with my children, and to enjoy the day to day. There were many things that bothered me when they talked a lot about my family, when they said that my son had a bad time in Paris, my children don't want to live here because they are doing so well. Then Barca winning La Liga this season, he said, yes, I was excited. I followed it all year and I wanted Barca to win like every Barca fan wants. Messi said about Barca's La Liga title, their first in 4 seasons. He also then shared his thoughts about potentially returning to Barca and all that followed when the negotiations were taking place, starting with his communication with Xavi. He said, I talked to Xavi a lot, also about some games, after the game, about situations. The truth is that we have been talking a lot since he became the coach, and I followed him, obviously. With President Laporta, I spoke very little, once or twice at most. I do have a lot of communication with Shafi. I really wanted a return to Barca, but after having lived through what I went through and the departure I had, I didn't want to be in the same situation again, waiting to see what was going to happen and leaving my future in someone else's hands, Leo said. La Liga had given the green light for Barca's financial feasibility plan for the summer, which includes Messi's return. However, it was obvious that a few key details were missing to push for that transfer. He said, I wanted to make my own decision, thinking about myself, my family. Although I heard that La Liga had accepted everything and that everything was fine for me to return, there were still a lot other things that needed to happen. Further, he expressed how he did not want to put Barca or his former teammates in a position where they would have to be sold or reduce salary just to include him in the team, he said. I heard that Barca had to sell players or lower salaries of certain players, and the truth is that I didn't want to go through that or be in charge of getting anything to do with all that. I was already blamed for a lot of things that weren't true in my career at Barca, and I was a bit tired of that. I didn't want to go through all that were they were going to say about me if they had to sell players or things like that for my signing. Messi's departure in 2021 was rather shocking as it came after months of reporting confirming that the player would end up signing a renewal with the club. At the time too, La Liga had told him there would be no issues, he said. The time I had to leave, 2 years ago, La Liga told me they had agreed to register me, and in the end, it wasn't possible. Well, I was afraid that the same can happen again. My family was very excited about everything we heard about returning to Barca, but at the same time, we weren't that excited because the reality was that we still didn't know what would happen. But obviously, we were very keen to return. Javi took the media a few times to say that Messi's return to Barca solely depends on him. However, he confirmed at the end that there were multiple things missing. He said, Barca saying that everything depended on me. I listened to everything that was said. La Liga had given the okay, but it's not real that the decision is mine because there are many things missing and I don't want to go through what I've already been through. He said, I've loved a farewell like Iniesta, Busquets, Alba, Xavi. This is why I was very happy to hear that chant with my name by Barca fans at Spotify Camp Nou. I would have liked to leave Barca in a good way, to have been able to say goodbye to the fans in a good way, Messi said. Then to conclude this episode, Barca's full statement on that Messi's transfer to Inter Miami read, on Monday the 5th, George Messi, Messi's father and representative conveyed to the club's president, Joan Laporta, the player's decision to sign for Inter Miami, despite having proposal presented by Barca. President Laporta understood and respected the decision taken by Messi to want to compete in a league with fewer demands and further away from the focus and pressure to which he has been subjected in recent years. But Joan Laporta and George Messi also agreed to work together to promote a great tribute from Barcelona fans to a footballer who has been, is, and will be always loved by Barca. So guys, with that, we have come to an end of this episode. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time. Bye-bye.